live with my husband Nate today. I had a lot of requests on the last live to do one with Nate because we were going live on separate pages and people were wanting us to do a live together. So we're gonna do one today. We're gonna take your questions. Nate has his curls in a cast right now, so he wants to scrunch them on our live with you guys. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post in the chat. We have 9 hours left to go grab the plant-based bundle. The link is in either of our bios, so go check it out. Hey, babe.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
You look good.
Thank you. So do you. Look at those curls are ready to come out.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Look at it. How's it going?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah?
The microgreens are looking good too.
Are you liking the smoothie?
Yes. Nate made a smoothie.
So good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you who are joining in too. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be so much fun. So again, if you have questions, please post in the chat. And as always, we've got only 9 hours left of the plant-based bundle. So if anyone was interested in getting it, go to the link in either of our bios and go grab it before it's gone. You can always come back to this live after you get it, but before you know it, it's going to be 9 p.m. PST tonight and it's going to be over. So please go grab it so that you have it. It's amazing.
Exactly. The bundle is amazing. I mean, my gosh, this has been really fun. And of course, it's tricky to, not everybody gets to see that it's even going on, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
sometimes
why we talk about it so much.
Yeah, we're talking about it so much because, of course, you know, not everybody gets to see every little thing, but this has been so amazing.
Yeah, it has. It really, really has. We've got comments in here. You two crack me up. Yeah, Nate's just in the office and I'm in the living room. We're doing a live together.
Yep.
People
I'm in the
want
grow
us to
room.
be online. Yeah, this is the grow room / office. Endless Summer says, this is random, but Nate, you remind me of this guy from Netflix show called Working Moms. Your voices sound exactly the same.
Oh, interesting.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny concept too, how sometimes you see people and you're like, gosh, that looks like, you know, so-and-so. Like we have doppelgangers out there, right?
Yeah.
And of course there's people who sound similar. It's so interesting how that works. Like not everybody is completely, not to say that we're not unique, right? But it's interesting how that is. Like there's somebody you're like, God, you sound just like so-and-so, but you don't look like them, or you look just like so-and-so, but you don't sound like them. It's funny.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's interesting. Watermelon Lime just had a salad and some raw pizza. That's awesome.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Kelsey is asking, what's your monthly food budget? How do you live raw on a budget?
Great question.
Yeah. So I would say we spend, like, for the two of us combined, I don't know, maybe $800. Would you say that's around there?
Yep.
Yeah, so budgeting tips, one of my big budgeting tips is we don't buy all organic. Like we do buy organic when it makes sense, when it looks good, when it fits within the budget. And we grow our own microgreens. Talk about that a little bit, about how we used to spend a crazy amount of money on microgreens.
Yeah, well, one year we kind of added up what we spent on total on microgreens and buying sprouts from the store, and it was over a couple $1,000s for the year. And we really started, it really kind of clicked in our head because we were buying about $50, $40 to $50 every weekend at the farmer's market. And so that's where we're like, wow, maybe we should start growing some of our own food, because that really does help. I mean, we're eating about $30 worth of microgreens a day, and it cost us maybe like, you know, maybe at most $5 to grow that $30 to $40 worth of microgreens.
Yeah.
So
like the tray of peas, can you show the tray of peas?
yeah.
That tray of peas was less than $2 to grow. And we could easily eat, like, in one salad for the two of us, like a quarter of the tray, right? And it's a lot. Like it makes a lot. I actually posted one of my What I Eat in a Day videos that I did today on YouTube, where you were chopping up the pea shoots, and there was like like so many that we got added to the salad. So like
Yeah.
it really bulks it up. It provides a lot of nutrition, like lots of calcium, lots of iron.
Yes.
The sunflower microgreens are super high in iron.
The sunflowers. Look at these sunflowers. Woo! We got to harvest these today, babe.
Yeah, we do. We got to make a salad with those in it.
But yeah, definitely like you're saying, we don't buy all organic and we shop around. So for you out there, you know, who are listening to this, just shop around. You know, sometimes it's you know, maybe $4 for a head of romaine at one store, but it's only like $1.97 at a different store. So it's nice to shop around, look for the deals. And yeah, we don't buy everything organic. If we bought everything organic, our bill would probably be close to $2,000 a month. Mm-hmm. I could see it easily being that.
Yeah.
But of course, we also wouldn't be able to eat the variety that we eat if we were buying all organic either.
That's true too. That's true too. We have to make sure that we get enough variety. And there's a lot of stuff that, like, for example, we made the quiche for Thanksgiving and we used red spinach, which is a really rare variety of spinach found at the Asian market. And it wasn't organic, but it's like, we want the variety of having that spinach. So yeah, someone's asking, did Nate ever find the old man from the ski lift?
No, I did not, unfortunately. I really wish, I know all of us have this kind of feeling in life. If we could just rewind time for a moment, or if we could have done something a little different. If I could go back, I would have got his phone number. I would have been like, can I get your phone number? I would love to see you again or talk to you again. And it would have been really cool to stay in contact with him. It was just a quick ski lift ride together with a perfect stranger. And at the end, he skied off and I'm like, oh man, I was flustered trying to get my snowboard boots strapped in so I could catch him. But he was just so smooth. He pointed like straight down because it's kind of steep off the get-go. And then I could see him off in the distance, and I tried to catch up with him, and no, I never saw him again.
He changed your life.
Yeah, that was it, though. That was it.
Cool. Super cool. Watermelon Lime says there's an app in Germany where you can buy older but not bad foods for cheaper from shops. I can imagine they have similar things in other countries too. Yeah, there's also like the misfit veggies. Like they have like this. There's a company where it's like misshapen veggies. Or they didn't grow like perfect or whatever. In Canada, they had imperfect veggies or something, or misfits or something like that. And yeah, it was like a bag, and the bell peppers were like all wonky and twisted and stuff. Like they weren't the pretty perfect bell peppers, but they were way cheaper. Yeah. So I happily purchased those because why not save some money? It's the same thing. It's just more naturally grown.
It's kind of like the cans. Remember the cans that had fallen off the shelf?
Yeah.
They were dented. They would sell those cans a bit cheaper.
Yeah, totally. Jessica Jansen just bought the bundle. How will I get through it all? There's over 200 things in the bundle, you guys. There's less than 9 hours left to grab it. So if you want to support us, if you want to grab some awesome plant-based recipes and some guides and transition stuff, you're getting 5 of my ebooks. You're getting Nate's Microgreens course and his Dude Food and his Alive ebook for $50. It's worth almost $9,000. So less than 9 hours left. You can find the link in either of our bios. You can go now and go buy it and then come back to the live after, because before you know it, the bundles are going to be over. So congrats, Jessica. I hope you enjoy all the goodies in there.
Yes, so cool. So good. I know there's so much in there. And of course, what's interesting is you have a year to download everything, but what's really good practice is just to download it all, get it in a folder. That way you have it and you have the stuff forever.
Yeah.
Nearly $9,000 worth of content, courses for $50. I mean, man, that's definitely something. Back when I met that guy, John, on the ski lift, I would have hopped on this if I was like, I don't even think, was I on Instagram? Yeah, I think I was on Instagram, but I wasn't like predominantly like, there wasn't stuff like this really put together.
Yeah.
And this is something that can definitely like really alter someone's trajectory of their life and their diet, having something like this to tap into.
For sure. We've heard so many people say, like the last time they bought the bundle, it's really changed their life, and they have bought this bundle as well because it's double the value of what the other bundle was. So they're like, it just keeps getting better, and they've got more things on their menu that they can make for family and friends and for themselves. And there's a lot more raw in this bundle, so it's definitely worth it.
It's so amazing.
Someone's asking, what about your veggies and seeds and herbs from the grocery stores? I'm not sure what that question is in reference to, but we shop at multiple different stores. So like seeds and bulk stuff, we get really good at Winco. That's pretty cheap at Winco. But yeah, there's like Nate said, there's different stores for different things. And that just takes going around your city and just like exploring other grocery stores that you wouldn't normally go into, because you might find some really amazing deals.
Yeah. The bulk is really interesting. Like, you have to look around wherever you are in your area, maybe call your city, and see, hey, who sells bulk foods? And that is a great place to get the nuts and seeds, because those can be a little bit more spendy. Of course, maybe they're not top tier quality, right? Like the cashews we buy, they're raw cashews, but they're cashew pieces. They're not whole cashews, but they're like maybe $4.19 per pound, as opposed to going to Whole Foods where you get the perfect whole raw cashew, but they're like $12 to maybe even $16 a pound. So, Lisa and I both, we're not real sticklers with those kinds of things, so we don't let that really bother us. But that's how we save money, is by shopping around and trying to find the best deals on these certain things. So if you have a bulk food store, we're lucky enough to have a store called Winco here in Nevada. It's also in Oregon. I believe it's probably in California, but I'm not sure, where they are. But it's just like it's kind of like a discount, in a way, a discount grocery store. They do have some organic, not a huge organic selection, but we love Winco. Praise Winco. They're amazing.
Place. Right. Yeah. And then we have the Mexican stores like La Bonita and Cardenas. They have some really amazing sales. Like in the summertime, we were getting there was one point we were getting 6 Atolfo mangoes for $1.
6 mangoes, 6 of those little honey mangoes for $1.
Yep. And something also that people can do too is, if you do find sales like that, like 6 mangoes for $1, stock up on those, chop them up and freeze them. So in the winter, when mangoes are way more expensive and don't taste as great, you've got like stuff in your freezer that you can add to your smoothies.
Yes. So cool. I know we're excited to do the same. The next time the sales come on, we actually invested on a freeze dryer.
Look at that.
So we will do huge batches of freeze dried mango to be able to tap in when it's not season. I know, it's
so good. It's so good. Cameron Smiles is asking, who are your favorite musicians? That's a great question. I personally, I have so many favorites. It's really hard to like pick a few. I really grew up listening to a lot of like Celine Dion in Canada, right? I listened to a lot of country when I was younger too, but I really like the electronic music, like Nate has kind of introduced me to. And yeah, I like it all, really, let's be honest, like classical and jazz, and I like it all. It's all good.
I'm the same, babe. I just love music. And I'm like thinking, gosh, like who's my favorite musician? That's a really tricky one, because you'd have to have like your top 10 for each genre, right? And, because like I love the old stuff, like the 50s. I love some of the roaring 20s style music. I love the 40s and 50s style, like swing. 60s has some really good music. 70s, of course, all the different decades are great. They have their hits, all the stuff depending on when you were born. Like I was born late 70s, so I grew up with a lot, like my mom listening to a lot of like Carly Simon and Elton John and James Taylor, and those sorts of like artists really bring like nostalgic feelings back. She also loves Celine Dion and country. And then I got into a lot of like, I was really into rock and roll, like Motley Crue and Poison, Beastie Boys. So I went through that whole phase when I was younger. And then I got into Nirvana came out, and that changed the trajectory of music all in general. So I really got into alternative stuff, Pearl Jam, like Alice in Chains, and all that kind of rock, alternative rock. And then I got into electronic music, like probably maybe mid 90s to late 90s, and I really love electronic music in so many ways. But I do love musicians like Tosh Sultana.
Yes.
is probably one of our, like, we don't listen to a lot of her stuff, but she's amazing. She was a busker on the street, and now she's like world famous. She's an amazing musician. But there's so many good musicians, and really it's hard to pick. We go through our phases. Like, we listen to a lot of like the old Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. stuff.
Got the Vegas vibes.
Yeah, the Vegas vibes. Sam Cooke is another one who's amazing. I mean, there's just like hundreds. Like, we're music lovers. We just love music. It's hard to pick.
Right. Yeah. Totally hard to pick. Super hard to pick. We've got a comment in here. I have my sprouts growing, and I'm adding more and more living foods each day and to my meals. Thank you for your message of growing into this lifestyle. Thank you so much. So grateful that you are making compassionate choices for yourself, and you're adding more living foods to your life. And if anyone wants to grab the bundle, you're getting Nate's Microgreens video course on how to grow your own microgreens, just like what he has there. It's in the bundle. There's less than 9 hours left to get it. The link is in either of our bios. So if you want to support us and you want to support yourself by adding more living foods to your diet, then grab the bundle. Go to the link in either of our bios, grab it. You can always come back to this live, because before you know it, it's going to be gone. Tonight at midnight New York time, it'll be gone.
Midnight tonight.
Yeah, right. Melinda says, I wish I had a place to grow things like you have here from Texas. Show them the window. Do you have them on the windowsill?
Let me just grab my phone here. And what I'll do is I'll flip the camera, and you can see this is kind of a good way to start growing. See, we've got here just our windows, right? And these just fit right on the windowsill. You can see how big the windowsill is, right? It's not very big, but these just sit right on there. Look at them. They're like angling towards the window. So every day you just rotate it. And these are actually, I'm growing these in some recycled containers, which I have done a grow along showing. Look at this. This is day number 10. These are completely ready to harvest, completely ready. This is a mushroom container. We bought mushrooms in the black. And then this top container that the plants are actually in was some cherry tomatoes. So you don't need to have a special big space. These things are thriving. They're actually, I wish that we had more space to grow microgreens like that, because they're actually doing better than the ones that we have under the lights. Like, these ones were planted the exact same time, and they are really healthy. They're looking beautiful. But they do so well on the windowsill. Look, we just have them right over here on the windowsill. The reason that we built this rack is because we weren't able to grow as many as we wanted to. And we had, all these little containers all over the window, and our cats are knocking them over. And we're like, well, maybe we should just invest in something a bit bigger. So we got the rack, and there's different size racks that you can purchase. I was actually thinking, I haven't told Liz about this, but I'll tell you now, babe. Maybe we invest on another rack system that holds these trays. It holds 4 of these trays, and it's not very tall. It's like really small. So, I mean, imagine, look at this, it's just a roller rack with wheels that fits this particular size tray, and it's only like maybe this tall, like about waist high. So you could roll that in different areas of your house. That's a cool way to do it.
In front of the windows in the living room.
That's what I was thinking, right in front of the windows there, because it'd look cool.
Yeah.
And like kind of back where your photo booth is. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it's just another way to grow more.
Right. More microgreens, bigger salads. Cameron is saying, I'm stressed about the housing market and feel like I'm falling behind. Are you guys renters or homeowners? Mm. We rent, and that's fine. We're not stressed about it, because like whatever comes, whatever will be. Kind of que sera, sera, right? And this is working for us right now. It's really great because with our rent, it's like water and
Power.
electricity, power, and the AC, all of that is included, plus the garbage
It's so
removal.
great.
We have a gym, we have a lounge area, we have a terrace, we have a pool with a hot tub. Like, it's
It's
pretty
pretty
good.
amazing. We really have it made here in a lot of ways for that fact, definitely. And yeah, the housing market, I mean, it's a valid concern in a lot of ways, although we don't spend a lot of time studying that particular market and playing in that market. So I could see, there could be like, but they're just like anything, there's always ups and downs. And real estate in general has always been something good to invest in. And I wish that, I would have, saved my fortunes and, in the past and invested into a couple of properties. But in the past, but yeah, it's interesting how the markets seem like, I feel like it's kind of like anything though too. There's so much fear being pumped out, and not to say that here when we tried to move here, the houses here were so hard to get, and of course certain areas the housing market is just through the roof. Like they're a house that's only really worth maybe $80,000 to $100,000 is selling for like $250,000 to $300,000, right? So it's interesting, but that's not even a game that we play or anything, so it's hard to know.
Yeah, we're so focused on helping you guys.
I know, exactly. We're so focused on like helping you grow food, incorporate different plant foods into your day-to-day life, but yeah, exactly. I mean, we're really fortunate here with our rent, with everything that's included here. Man, we are really blessed. This is a really, really sweet spot.
Totally. I agree. I love it. I love it. I love it. Diana Bananas is saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So Cameron, I love your raw dressings. Thank you so much. Glad you enjoy the goodies. Watermelon Lime is asking, what's in the smoothie? Babe, you made these. What's in the smoothie?
I can't tell you. It's a secret. Highly confidential. No, so what we have in here is I put 7 medjool dates, because we split the smoothie, right? So 7 dates. I think there's about 5 frozen bananas. There is the coconut water, because we cracked a couple coconuts last night. So I put coconut water in there and regular water. That's the liquid. And we actually used some cacao powder, some raw cacao powder. Yeah, so that kind of gives it the chocolatey. So it's basically just a thick, chocolatey smoothie.
Nice, nice. We've got Perfect Foods in the house today. Hey. We like to get our lentil seeds, and broccoli is really great from them. They have sprouting kits. They've got raw starter, like a kickstart or raw diet kits and stuff like that. They're asking, where do you recommend getting your microgreens and wheatgrass and raw foods if you're having trouble growing them yourself?
We got to say what's up to Belle. What's up, Belle? We love you. We miss you. I hope you have a great day at work.
Bell's in here too. Aww.
Belle's a sweet friend of ours. We miss her so much. I only got to meet her a couple times, but she's definitely one of our people in our circle that we miss. We miss you, Belle.
Miss you so much.
So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Perfect Foods is asking, if you are having problems or you don't have space to grow your own microgreens, is there a way that someone could get them?
Gotcha.
And Perfect Foods has them.
Yep. Perfect Foods was asking that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, that's funny, because that's what they do. They sell microgreens. Perfect Foods is a company out there. They're based out of New York, and I believe New York. Yes. Yeah. So, but they do deliveries, right? So that's pretty amazing, is they will deliver direct to the customer. And I know there's other companies out there, depending on where you live. There's several in Canada. I'm sure there's people in the UK. I'm sure there's people kind of like around the world. If you really dig in, if you're looking to buy some microgreens, that sell to stores, or maybe there's chefs that use them in their recipes. You could ask the chef, where do you get your microgreens? I want to start ordering some for myself, if you don't have the space to grow them or the desire to grow them. But like I was showing you, you could grow in recycled containers and just put a couple in they will grow right in your kitchen. They don't actually need to be next to a window, but that really helps to have that natural light. But that's what I would do. I would just research around in your area, because here in the Las Vegas area, there's a half dozen different places to get microgreens from, and that's where we were getting them. But we're like, man, we just dropped $40 and we ate all $40 worth of microgreens, you know, in our lunch and dinner that day, and we're like, this is going to get expensive if we start, but we want to eat more of them. So that's where we started to grow them. But that's what I would do.
Excellent, excellent. Endless Summer's asking, how long have y'all been together?
We just had our 3-year wedding anniversary this last August. And I think that it was, let's see, 2019, 2018. So 4 years, I guess it's been about a little over 4 years since we've been together. We actually got together January of 2018 in person. We were talking to each other day in, day out, morning, noon, and night, every day from the beginning of October of 2017. And then we actually met each other in January or it was February of 2018. So yeah, so we've been together basically since then. Once we got together in person, we're like, all right, let's call off the search. We're good. You're the one.
You're the one. Let's hire an immigration lawyer and let's do the thing.
Yep. And that's what we did. We went right to the immigration lawyer and we're like, hey, how can we play this game? Because, you know, she lived in Canada. I'm in the States. I was in Oregon, and both my sons were still in high school. And I was like, I can't leave. I can't leave right now. And plus, I don't know if I really want to leave. I don't want to live in the tundra.
Right. Yeah. It was like cold and expensive. Food was so expensive there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm so glad we're together. And thank you, everybody, for following our story. All of you who saw us before and during our courtship and our wedding.
Another thing, too, is both of us were married. Like, I was married before. I was with my ex for 25 years. You know, kind of high school sweetheart, you know, American dream, love story, whatever. It was great life. And, you know, but we changed and things move on. And sometimes it's, you know, tricky. There's a whole, you know, we all have our stories, right? Everybody. And then Lissa was also married with her ex for like 13 years, weren't you? 13?
Yeah, it was like 12 years. But yeah, we both split from our partners.
Yep.
Would you say like maybe like 6 months to a year or more before we met? So we already had a past of knowing like what we wanted.
Yeah, like exactly. I was just gonna say, like, I already knew what I wanted. I'm not like searching. I kind of know what I desire in a partner, and I know what it's like to have a partner. And you know, we would have probably dated a bit longer, I would imagine, if you lived in the States, but you were in another country. So it was like, well, do we want to, you know, like unite? Because if we're really feeling this, we're going to have to take different steps than, say, somebody who lives in the same area would, where they just date and, like, you know, ask each other, let's move in together. And then you move in together and a couple of years go by and you're like, you know what, let's get married, you know? So we were like, well,
guess we're getting married.
You want to get married to me, baby girl?
Yes, I do.
You want to move to America?
Best decision ever. Best decision ever. Mama's Kitchen is asking, do you have to shut the cats away from the microgreens? Mine are interested in the sprouts and devastate the houseplants. I'm nervous to try the microgreens. I'd struggle to protect them.
Gotcha. That's a tricky one. Our cats do like to chew on some plants too. So my advice would be, we have a lot of artificial plants in the house as well. Just for the fact of, you know, the cats, like, you know, knocking them off and soil going everywhere and having to water them. We're not gone, but we do have special plants that we have just for them, and we don't care if they chew on them. But what I do is I have actually the bottom shelf is about 2 feet tall, which of course cats could jump like 6 feet, right? But they're just not very interested in the microgreens, luckily.
Yeah. We are lucky. We have very, very well-behaved cats.
Very well-behaved,
to be honest. Yeah.
I would also recommend getting some, you know, and I'm sure you probably have this, you know, but getting some toys. And I'm not sure if, you know, I know some people don't like to give their cats catnip, but we put some fresh catnip in their toys, special toys that have a little Velcro pocket, and you could put fresh catnip in there, and that keeps them pretty entertained. And so I feel like it's it's important to have things that the cats are allowed to, mess up and scratch on and play with and chew on. And then that way,
it's their home too, right?
Yeah. And then, if you do catch them with the microgreen, I don't know, we haven't had this issue, but maybe, of course, YouTube, I would search YouTube. YouTube is amazing for everything. Search a YouTube how to keep your cats from eating your plants, and maybe you learn some cool tricks there. Yeah. I'm right off the get-go, I'm thinking like maybe a little mister bottle, a squirt bottle, just the sound of it, and then they get a little mist on them every time they get near the microgreens. Maybe that would help them be like, okay, I don't want to get near the microgreens. Every time I get there, I'm getting sprayed. So I don't know, but I don't know if that's like a healthy thing to do, if that's good to do for your cats. Some people will be like, that's so rude, I would never do that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know it's challenging. It's challenging when you have animals living with you in the house. You have to make it friendly for them too, like not trapping them, or like with our litter boxes, right? Like they're right out in the open because that's how they like to poo. And we were having an issue when we were hiding the litter boxes away from everything. Raja was peeing just on the floor because he didn't want to go in the enclosure. So once we put the litter boxes right out in the open, we haven't had one issue since we
Not
did
one
that.
issue. Another thing they say too is to have one more litter box than you do cats. Yeah. So if you have 2 cats, you need to have 3 litter boxes. And when we first moved here, I was putting the litter boxes in the bathtub, and they would have to jump in the bathtub to go, because I didn't want to have them on the, whatever. It was my own thing. I was like, oh, litter box, I don't want to have litter boxes. Then I started watching YouTube because Raja was like peeing and pooping in the office. And I was like, shoot, maybe I should put a litter box in here. And then I learned that cats will poop right in front of you. They don't care. They're not like humans where they're like, we're like shutting the door. Don't go away, I'm pooping, right? But they're just like pooping wherever. Like one instance was this cat was peeing on this woman's drapes. She had these beautiful drapes, this beautiful big window. And so, she learned like, okay, maybe I should just put a litter box. She didn't want to have a litter box in front of her beautiful big window. The glass went right down to the floor. Yeah. But she had, the cat kept peeing over there. So she put a litter box there. And now the cat doesn't pee on the curtains, pees in the litter box. And then, of course, keeping the litter box clean. Yeah. I don't know how we got on this litter box talk, but another thing that is really cool is we use wood pellets for the litter. So the wood pellets is really nice. You buy a special litter box that you can just shake. And when they pee on it, it turns to sawdust. And it doesn't track little pieces of gravel throughout the house. And it's super cheap, like a 50-pound bag of these wood pellets to heat your house are $5, as opposed to like a little bag of litter is like $20, right? So that's really been helpful too, is the cost of it. But when we take off, we put even another litter box out, so that we actually have 4 litter boxes full when we leave for a trip for like 3-4 days, 4 nights or whatever.
So they're covered.
Covered. They're everywhere.
Princes.
I've got a litter box. Like there's one in the bathroom, there's one in our bedroom. I didn't want one in our bedroom, but I was like, we probably should put one in here. And now it's not that big of a deal. And of course, another thing that's really helped is we have a big mat that we put the litter box on. So any spillage of, because sometimes they get in there, and Jai is really the only one. Raja doesn't care. He just squats and runs after. But Raja or Jai will actually like pull some of the litter out. And so it's nice to have the mat, because, when I do clean the litter box, I can just pour that litter back in, because they're just pellets. Yeah. Whatever pellets fall out, I'll just, put them back in. I've thought about actually making some videos showing our whole process, because it's fabulous. Yeah. It's fascinating and fabulous. Like, it's so much cheaper, and we don't have sand all over our house. Yeah. Right? Because of, it's just sawdust. When it just turns to sawdust, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Love our kitties. Next question we have, what kind of lights do you have on the microgreens?
Good question. So in the beginning, we bought just regular shop lights, and just regular shop lights that you put in your garage, LED shop lights, and they would daisy chain together. Right now, what we've transitioned to is these Barina lights, and they're very thin, real low profile, and they go the full length, the 4-foot length of the shelf. They sell them in different sizes, but And I want to do some more research to let people know like how much power they're drawing. They draw like barely any power at all. So they're Barina lights. So those of you who are listening to this, if you haven't got the plant-based bundle, be sure to grab it. Be sure to check it out at least. In there is my course. And inside my course, I've created a PDF of every single item that I use here in the grow room, as well as in the kitchen, or anything to do with sprouting or anything to do with fermenting food. As well as, you know, we've created our list of like favorite movies and documentaries and books. It's a huge list, and it's in every single segment of the course. But if you're listening to this, you don't want to get the bundle, or you haven't got the bundle and you just want to get the lights, or you want to find out where we're getting the seeds, just DM me lights or seeds, and I'll send you the link, the Amazon link to the lights that we're using. But they're great. I think it was $60 for these 12 lights. They're not very big. They're like maybe like a quarter size around. They're really efficient. They don't put off a lot of heat, so it doesn't like warm up the microgreens from the bottom. And they've been great. They've been really, really good.
Yeah, I like those ones too. Next question. We've got Diana Bananas is asking, what are your plant points? I love this question. I'm excited about this one. So what are plant points before we begin? Dr. Will Bolsewicz has a book. He has two books, actually, Fiber Fueled and the Fiber Fueled Cookbook. And he talks about plant points. And now what plant points are how many different varieties of plants are you including in your meals, in your dinner, in your week, or whatever. So Nate and I, when we were reading through Fiber Fueled, and Fiber Fueled we read over 2 years ago, probably 2.5 years ago, and it changed the trajectory of our raw diet, right? We started including more variety. We started exploring about the gut microbiome, and it's become a really deep passion of ours. So reading that book and reading about the plant points, we're like, let's see how many different kinds of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and other different plants, sea vegetables, that kind of thing. How many different varieties of things do we eat every week? And it ended up being between 80 and like 90, almost 100 sometimes, depends on the season. But we eat over 80 different kinds of plants every week.
Yeah.
And so those are our plant points. Sometimes like I try to get like 20 to 25 plant points in one salad. It's like we're adding like romaine and mixed greens and radicchio and endive and sunchoke and dandelion greens, frisee lettuce. We'll add like grated carrots and beets and, oh my gosh, like herbs like dill and tomatoes and cucumbers and bell peppers. Like we try to get as much as we possibly can in each of our salads to get.
Yeah, just like little bits of a bunch of things.
Yeah, it's not like we're eating like 4 cups of broccoli and 5 cups of grated carrots. We're like adding little amounts because we're more about variety. We still eat enough calories, but we have a lot more variety.
And there are sometimes like we just want something really simple. Like sometimes I just want straight up like romaine, maybe some iceberg, and tomato and cucumber. I just want something really simple, not a lot of ingredients, but the majority of the time, yeah, we have like maybe 3 or 4 different varieties of microgreens, 1 to 2 different varieties of sprouts or more, you know, so there's like 7 or 8 varieties of plants right there. And we haven't even got into the main structure of the salad of like, you know, the greens and the, you know, all the other stuff too. So it's really fun.
The dressing.
And then the dressing, of course, the dressing, a lot of the dressings are date based. So, you know, you're getting good calories, good fiber, you know, good minerals and vitamins in those dressings. They taste delicious. And what's so cool with raw dressings that have no oil, it's not an oil-based dressing, is you could use a pint of dressing on your salad. It's just raw plants blended up and they taste delicious. We definitely, I mean, that's what really, I was able to stay raw when I bought Alyssa's meal plan 1 before Alyssa even knew who I was, because her dressings were so darn delicious. I was like, man, that French dressing, just dates and garlic with some lemon juice and some smoked paprika and water. You would never think that that dressing would hit the way that it does the taste buds. It's so incredibly delicious, and it's a fat-free dressing, or it's like a very low fat, because there's fat in everything. Even romaine lettuce has fat, right? So it's like there's nothing that's technically fat-free,
right?
But essentially it's a fat-free dressing. Great dressing to use for midday, or I would even use it at night sometimes, but I always would carry garlic and dates with me and smoked paprika. And most of the time I would have a lemon or two with me as well as a raw foodie, because I knew that I could just at least blend these together in my quick little bullet or my Vitamix and have a fresh dressing. Man, that just makes so big of a difference. But yeah, like you're saying, the plant points. If you're considering all the stuff you have in your salad, plus what you put in your dressing, maybe the garlic, the onions, some dates, you know, sometimes we use fermented foods like miso. Oh man.
I know, it's so great. I love the variety. And if anybody's looking for some awesome raw vegan recipes, we've got the plant-based bundle that has plenty of raw stuff in there. We've already made some things from Chris Kendall's ebook that's in there. Anais has an ebook in there. And we also looked through some of the other ebooks and we found some raw, like accidentally raw recipes in there too. So there's over 3,000 recipes. It's worth almost $9,000 and you get it for $50, but it's only here for another like 8 hours almost.
Yeah.
Over 8 hours left to
Just
get it.
a little over 8 hours left.
Yeah, link is in either of our bios, so you can leave the live, buy the bundle, and then come back. And then you have 1 year to download all the content, put it in Google Drive so you always have access to it from any device. But yeah, go grab the bundle if you haven't yet.
So good. Yeah, and there's people who've created new products for it, like Derek Simnett. Simnett Nutrition has one of his brand new books in there that he wrote for the bundle. And we tapped in and did one of his dressings the other night, which was so good. I was like, this is going to be one of our new go-tos. Then there was another one, was it Vegan 8?
Yeah, they had that Mexican tahini sauce, which we should probably make tonight.
That was so good, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, essentially that's like a little bit higher fat of a dressing, but yeah, really nice for
2 tablespoons of tahini each, so it was pretty decent.
So not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, because we try to keep our fats low as the raw foodies that we are, right? So it's nice to have those dressings that taste delicious, that aren't just loaded with, you know, fats. A lot of dressing is, a lot of times, I mean, salad dressing is essentially like either dairy-based or oil-based.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's great to have some good options. Endless Summer says, you're both a beautiful couple and you look so young. I'm gonna be 43 on Saturday, guys.
43.
43.
We're gonna take you to LA for your birthday, baby.
Heck yeah, with John Kohler.
Oh man, I cannot wait. It's gonna be such a fun trip. Yeah, and I'll be 46 coming up here in a few months.
That's
so
incredible.
I mean, age is just a number, of course, right? But it is interesting how we can age a bit more gracefully if we do right by ourselves, by not smoking, you know, not drinking copious amounts of alcohol, right? Like I would imagine, like, you know, like if somebody wants a glass of wine once a year or sometimes, you know, throughout the year, that's not like terrible. But, you know, you see how it is in today's day and age. So many people are smoking and drinking every day, drinking coffee every day, and they're not eating very well. They're eating, their plant points are very pathetic, like maybe 4 or 5 plant points a week. And
it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's also, it's set up in a way for us not to really be able to have the tools to succeed out there, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, it's really tricky. Fried foods are everywhere, around every corner. You can go to the gas station and you can fill up for $2 to $3 on just junk. Grab a 64 ounce of soda, right? And that's not setting you up. So I know friends that are my age right now that are on, you know, anywhere from 1 to 6 different medications. They've got erectile dysfunction. You know, they're having issues, and this is the time that it happens. Mid-40s, stuff starts to happen, and man, that's why something like the plant-based bundle is so awesome, because you're like, what do I even do? How do I shop? What do I make? I want something that I can feed my family that's going to taste good. I don't want to be a raw foodie. Not everybody wants to be a raw foodist. You know, a raw foodie or a raw foodist. Raw food is delicious, but you know, some people just want to eat their cooked foods. Maybe they want raw for breakfast. They like fruit for snacks, but they like their cooked meals. That's where something like this plant-based bundle is just incredible. I cannot believe how many things that are in there. Anytime that we've been a part of a bundle, it's just like, man, look at all these creators, what they're putting together, and all the different it's just inspirational to see like how someone else puts together something. Maybe one of our favorite dishes, like say like a cheesy lasagna, you know, but how do you do a nice cheesy or a meaty cheesy lasagna? But
You
how do
have
you
a
do
lasagna.
that?
You have a lasagna in your dude food ebook, which is part of the bundle. Link is
Right.
in our bios, guys. Go grab it. There's only 8 hours left to get it.
Right, yeah. So in the dude food book, lasagna is something that I really love. And I mean, I really missed it as a raw foodie. So then I'm researching like, oh, here's how I can make a pesto sauce. Here's how I can make a nut cheese. And I can put together, I can make my own sprouted meat. And so, and you know, what are we going to do for the noodles? Oh, zucchini noodles, right? Like, and any time that I've ever served that lasagna, people are, because the flavors are so incredible.
And it's fresh.
It's fresh.
It's hydrating. It's delicious. Yeah.
It's so fun. Making food is fun. And that's where, you know, having recipes and resources to tap into, like there is in the plant-based bundle, you're never bored. You're like, you just are like, what am I going to make tonight? Let's just scroll open to a book. This is what we're making. And of course, you know, if you don't have the ingredients, write down some ingredients, go grab it at the store and make it the next day. Yeah, planning. It's all about the planning. But man, it is amazing. Definitely grab that bundle before it is over.
Link in our bios. Leon is asking, what is the name of the microgreens that are green and purple? And what do they taste like? I think those kohlrabi ones. Yeah,
so these here are purple radish. And these ones here are definitely ready to harvest today. We need to harvest them today, babe. And we need to, probably what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to dry the ones that we can't eat because that'll preserve them for a little bit longer. So here is, let me see if I can get the camera to show. That is essentially the dark purple green. This is a radish microgreen, one of the healthiest microgreens there is, one of the easiest microgreens to grow. And they're, if you like spicy stuff, they're kind of spicy.
Yeah. Kind of like I would say like a mustard spice, not so much like a jalapeno spice.
Yeah, a mustard spice. And it's interesting how it's like slightly, has like a slight, possibly like maybe like a light oily or creamy flavor to them before the spice actually hits. They're really smooth, really delicious. We grow a lot of purple microgreens. And then we have the red garnet amaranth. And these are one of my absolute favorites. Look at that hot pink.
So pretty. My favorite color.
It is so good. We actually have another tray that I just pulled out of germination yesterday. These will be ready in just a few more days. Look at them. They're just starting to do their thing. But that's what's so cool with microgreens is 10 days. From the time you seed it to the time you're cutting and eating it is 10 days.
Yeah. So easy to grow those. We've got another question. What kind of plants do you have for the cats, and who feeds your cats when you're on a trip?
Great question. Well, the plants that we have a snake plant that Jai likes to kind of chew on. It's right here on our bench in the office. And then we have we
sometimes do microgreens, or wheatgrass.
I was going to say wheatgrass. Yeah. And there's like the spider plant. I actually put it up on the fridge because he was kind of like killing it and I didn't want it to die. So we'll do that. Or sometimes we'll buy them some actual, some wheatgrass or some fresh catnip. And then of course they do like to, sometimes we'll get corn on the cob. They'll chew on the corn on the cob, or pineapple. They'll chew on the leaves of the pineapple. Sometimes we throw the pineapple in the trash, but the leaves are kind of sticking out. Jai will get up there and just kind of gnaw on those a little bit. And then as far as feeding them, when we take a trip, what we do is we fill 2 big bowls of dry food. And we actually haven't gone for longer than, I believe, 5 nights? 4 nights.
4 is the longest we've left them.
So 4 nights is the longest we've left them. We could probably get away with 5. But any longer than that, we would have someone come and feed them. We have taken a trip. When we did our trip in 2020, our road trip, we actually had a friend come and stay at our house. Yeah. And that way, they had someone there, and she kept, care of their litter boxes and fed them, twice a day. Because we like to feed them a little soft food in the morning, and then we feed them a little dry food in the evening. So they only get fed twice a day. But yeah, that's what we do. We put out, when they see that 4th litter box come out, and the bag's packed, they know we're going to take off for like a couple nights.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, we're gonna leave them this weekend too, for LA, but they'll be
Yeah,
okay.
and we'll have
They're
Friday,
always
Saturday, Sunday. We'll only be 3 nights.
3 nights, yeah.
Yep.
So it won't be that big of a deal.
Yep, 3 nights. So they're good.
Yeah, they're good. Watermelon Lime is asking, will you make raw chef Yin's recipe for raw vegan gingerbread cookies? I would love to make that recipe. I'm actually going live with her at 5 p.m. PST. So if you want to join in on that live,
Yin is
I'm
awesome.
going to be live with her. So
Chef Yin is so awesome. We love her. Her and Az, her husband, they are really amazing people, and she is such a great content creator. Her recipes are beautiful. She does such a great job, and her enthusiasm, I love it, man. It's so cool to see what she's doing.
And she's got stuff in the bundle too. Marjorie is asking in the chat, is it too late to get the bundle? Can you print from the bundle? It is not too late to get the bundle, but in 8 hours it will be. So if you were thinking about buying the bundle, go to the link in either of our bios. Go grab the bundle. You can go to Raw Natty Nate and in the bio or my bio, but go grab it because there's only 8 hours left. And Chef Yin's, she's got a Christmas course in the bundle, and you're getting 5 of my ebooks and Nate's Microgreens course. Like, it's definitely worth it. And you can print from the bundle. So you get the PDF, just print it on your home computer.
There you go. Yeah, you could totally just print it right off, which I love that aspect too. Print it, and then you could laminate the pictures or slide the pictures in a laminate and put it in a ring binder, that sort of thing. I know some people get really creative. They print out the books, the ebooks, and then they have the hard copy, which is really nice, because some, like my Alive book that's in the bundle, as well as your Let It Snow, they're ebooks only. They're not in print version.
Correct.
So
neither is the taco or the holiday menu plan.
Oh, the holiday menu plan isn't either. That's right. Yeah, and I know the taco book was. But yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You could just print them off, which is so cool.
Yeah, Watermelon Lime says, I wish I could see your live with Chef Yin, but will be 2 a.m. for me. Oh my gosh. Well, yes, I will put it on YouTube for everyone to watch after. I'll put this on YouTube as well. You're very welcome, Marjorie. Yes, go grab the plant-based bundle. There's only 8 hours left to do so. The link is in either of our bios. Just up at the top of the screen where it says Live with Nate, click on that and you can go to either of our bios from there. Go grab the bundle and then hop back into the live. Nate is going to scrunch out his curls right now.
Oh, yeah, I could. They're still like a little bit moist, but I could. I was thinking I'd maybe let it go a little longer, but yeah, I could. These, the sides are dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been really pumped that you taught me how to take care of my hair. See, I learned so much from my wife, you guys. I didn't know what to do. I just had dirty hair. And the reason I would like not wash it is it was like, it would kind of curl up the dirtier it got, but then it looked all dull and it was dirty. But my hair is actually like, it's still kind of moist around the scalp. So I don't know if it'll be like as good, but what I'll do is I just take, basically like I wash and condition my hair. I wash it with shampoo real good, do 2 shampoos, one to like strip the oil and the other one to get like a good lather going. And then I'll put the conditioner on, and as the conditioner is setting in, I'll wash the rest of myself. And then after that, when I go to dry my hair, I just take the towel and just kind of pat the hair. I don't like rub my hair anymore. I used to do that with the towel. I would just vigorously take a towel because I'm a dude, that's kind of how dudes do it, right? But so anyways, then after it's patted dry and it's still really moist, the hair is like kind of locked into these, curls, which, I'm fortunate enough to have like pretty curly hair. But then I just use a gel, rub the gel on, and then just kind of like pat it on each side, right? And then just kind of scrunch it in. Scrunch. And then it dries. You can see it's like stiff. But see, now this is called a cast. It's casted with this gel, right? And it's a vegan gel from Curlsmith. Hasn't been tested on animals. It's vegan. So I love that aspect. But to get the cast to break the cast, what you do is you just scrunch it. So if I just scrunch it, take a quick look here. It looks just like I got out of the shower. See, it's all wet, kind of stiff, right? But let me scrunch this up here. You can answer the questions.
Okay. So Marjorie is asking one last question. Will the bundle automatically be on more than one device? So this is what I recommend. For those of you who get the bundle, again, only 8 hours left. Link is in either of our bios. Once you buy it, you get an email sent to you with the download link. You click on that link. Nate's going crazy with his So you get the email and you click on the link and it sends you to a web page that has all 200 of the ebooks that you get to download. So you're going to download each one of the ebooks. You're going to put them into a folder on whatever device that you're using, whether it be your iPhone, your iPad, your Samsung, whatever, your laptop, your computer, your tablet, whatever it is. I recommend putting that, like once you download all the ebooks into that folder, put that folder in Google Drive because that will be your backup. So that when you have it in Google Drive, like you can access Google Drive from your phone, from your tablet, from your computer, because you just log in to Google Drive and then you can download the books straight from Google Drive. You have 1 year to download the content, but once it's downloaded, you can keep it in your backups and enjoy all the content for as long as you keep the files. So they're yours forever as long as you have them.
That's so awesome. I love it. You get it forever. You have them forever.
Yes. And look at Nate's hair.
Look at that, you guys. So that's what it looks like when the cast has been broke. And it's still, like I said, it's still slightly moist. So like, you know, it will kind of lock up again with the gel, but that's essentially it. And I'm telling you, like, I'm fortunate enough to be able to grow hair. Here I am, 46 years old. Look at that hairline, right? I'm very, very fortunate to have the hair that I have. And so I wanted to grow it out again because I haven't had long hair since I was in my late teens, early 20s. It was actually like way down to like almost my waistline. I had a really long hair for a while. I had dreadlocks for a while. And I've been wearing short hair for like 30 years. And I was like, you know what? I feel like growing my hair out. So it'll be 2 years coming this April. Because I started growing on my birthday. My birthday's in April. So it's been 2 years. And I just learned how to take care of it. 46 years old. I'm almost 46 and I never knew how to like apply gel and like take care of my hair. I would wash my hair, but you know, I'm really, really pumped because I was like, man, maybe I should go to a salon or something. And like, how can I get the curls out and have it look really pretty the way that it is? Like it's not to be all like vain or anything, but it's a beautiful head of hair, but I want to be able to take care of it and have it look nice. Of course, I don't always put product in my hair. It's kind of like maybe a once a week or once every other week kind of thing. A lot of times, you know, I brush it and I'll put it up into a bun or throw a hat on or something, but it's nice to be able to know how to like use the products to get the actual natural curls because I don't curl it, but look at these curls. I mean, my gosh, I'm so excited about it. Anyways, yeah, whatever.
Right? I know. There was someone in the chat joking, like they'd buy the bundle if you cut your hair, but they were like, I already have it. I'm joking. I love it.
Oh my gosh. No way. You know, I had a dream the other night. I told you about it, babe, that I cut my hair and I was like, okay with it. But then I was like, why did I do that? Because I've been growing it for so long and my plan is to grow it for years. I would like to grow it out for years and just wear long hair for a while. You know, it is more money though to take care of. You know, you have to use more shampoo, more conditioner, and then of course, bigger amounts of product if you're using gel or like curl creams and stuff like that. So it is a bit more involving to take care of. And I feel like, you know, say like in the Army, they just shave your head, less likely to get bugs or get it pulled or, you know, caught up in something. So in a way, shorter hair is much easier to maintain and it's cheaper to take care of short hair. Having long hair does take a bit more time and a bit more money. It really does.
Yeah. But it's awesome. And
I'm stoked.
I mean,
I'm stoked with it.
Girls. Oh, it's awesome. So if anyone doesn't have any more questions, we might sign off. I'm going to be going live in an hour with one of our friends. Actually, Nate's going to join as well. So we're going to be chatting with our friend Nicole Richey. She's going to be interviewing us, and we're going to chat about the bundle and some other cool stuff. She's got some questions. And then at 5 p.m. PST, I will be live with Raw Chef Yin. We're going to talk about recipes, all that good stuff. So thank you guys for joining. Don't forget, you have 8 hours left to grab the bundle. The link is in either of our bios, so go check it out and grab it because it's an amazing deal.
Yes, such a great deal. I mean, my gosh, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Grab that bundle before it's gone. 8 hours left. That's it.
8 hours left.
Yeah.
And also, there's only 8 hours left to get 60% off our ebooks as well. So if you want the link to our ebooks, you can DM either of us and we'll give you the code and the link to get 60% off our ebooks. We only do it twice a year. We do it over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, which is this weekend, and Boxing Day, so the day after Christmas. And then 60% doesn't happen the rest of the year. It's ongoing 40% off. So, is this bundle for a lifetime? Once you buy the bundle and download all the content, you've got the content for a lifetime, as long as you don't delete it, obviously, right? You want to keep it in secure backup like Google Drive or USB stick or external drive, so that
external drive would be the best. I mean, the absolute best is to have it not only on your computer, but put it on an external drive and put your external drive in a fireproof safe. So if anything did happen, your house burns down, right? These kinds of things happen. You still have your documents on that external hard drive. Yeah. That's something that Lisa and I have talked about. We need to take one solid week and just really go through our phones and really clean up stuff and get stuff that we need, that we absolutely do not want to lose, on that external hard drive and put it in a fireproof safe. But yeah, you have it forever. As long as you download it, you have 1 year to download everything. Yeah,
exactly. Any advice for a Londoner where fresh produce is not available freely? For one, I would say grow some of your own microgreens, because that's going to be the freshest and really nutritious. It's going to be inexpensive, just like what Nate's showing here. And if you buy the bundle, you get his microgreens course. So it teaches you everything you need to know on how to grow your own. But on a side note,
and ferment and sprout too. Exactly. Which that's a great way. Cabbage is really cheap, and you can make some delicious sauerkrauts, make the kimchi. These sorts of foods are really great. But yeah, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did my first 5 years raw in Canada. So similar, very cold, winter most of the year, -30, -40, right? And the food wasn't that great. I mean, there was times where the food was pretty decent, but it was expensive, not always super right. But what I did was I just did what I could. And I just entered a state of gratitude for what I did, what I could get. Because if I got stressed out, like, oh, I can't eat this and this isn't great and blah, 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 then I probably wouldn't have stuck to the raw diet, just from my mindset alone. So I was like, I can get bananas in Alberta. Like, that is mind blowing, for one. Yeah. So being grateful that I could get what I could get, even though it wasn't perfect. I wish I had your video course when I first started, because I would have been on point, like growing a lot of my own microgreens to supplement the expensive lettuce or food that wasn't as nutritious or what have you. But yeah, I made it work in Canada, and you can too. Just have to seek out those places, buy stuff in season as well. That really, really helps. And get stuff in season and buy extra, and then freeze it if you need to. Like berries in the summertime, get extra of those, freeze them for winter. That saves money as well.
Or if you can research some restaurant wholesalers, like produce wholesalers that sell to restaurants. Sometimes you can go there and you can get pretty good deals on, say, cases of things. And like Lissa's saying, maybe you get celery. You could freeze some of the celery. You could, of course, eat the celery, juice it, that sort of thing. But yeah, shopping around is the biggest thing, like calling the produce managers at stores and being like, how can I get a bulk, a case of, bananas or apples or, different stuff like that. You got to be friends. We got to be friends with our farmers is really what it comes down to.
Exactly. Getting those connections. And even if you go to farmers markets, like the last couple of hours of the farmers market, sometimes you can get some of their leftover produce for cheaper because it's not going to sell. So they're going to try and sell it. You can always like barter, get a deal on some leftover stuff. But yeah, it really is about like shopping in season. Buy conventional if you cannot afford all organic. Don't stress out about it. Like get organic when you can, when it makes sense, but don't get all worked up over it. And yeah, buy in bulk. Grow your own microgreens and grow your own sprouts. Those are great, really inexpensive ways to add more nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like we were saying earlier, this is about maybe $2 to grow this, and you have it ready to harvest in 10 days. And you know, you could cut this in half, right? Like there's one, you know, half of the day, the other, you know, the next day. So this tray could last you 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's not a lot of calories here, but the micronutrients are off the chart. Yeah. And if you were to just keep trays growing, if you go through a tray like this every 2 to 3 days, if you plan it out to where every, you know, 3 days you have another tray right behind it ready to harvest, then the trick comes to make sure you eat it all in time.
Right, yeah, because there's so much, but it's super high in calcium and protein and
fiber,
iron and minerals. You just have to eat a lot of it. That's why growing a full tray is ideal. But
yeah, and that's where the dressings come in, is so you can, like, you know, make sure you're getting enough calories through the dressing. And of course you're getting all kinds of amazing nutrients in your salads, but the dressing can make or break the salad, man.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And before we go, we've got awesome dressings in the plant-based bundle. Again, just under 8 hours left.
Yes, protein.
Protein in the microgreens. Protein isn't really, amino acids are in all plant foods. We just have to eat enough. Yeah.
And what's so cool is there's actually 20 amino acids that are beneficial. Like, we need these, and there's 9 essential amino acids that our body can't make on its own. And we can get all of those 9 essential amino acids, basically the protein that we need, from plants.
From plants.
The science is there. This is science. This is like real. People are in there with microscopes and testing people's bodies. Like, this is not just like, yeah, you know, I heard from a dude. This is real deal. All essential amino acids are found within the plant kingdom. It's amazing. We have graphs showing, like, this is studies from the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, showing these sorts of studies. The proof is there, but it's interesting how that isn't necessarily promoted to us as much as what the commercials are promoting. Make sure you get your, you know, milk and your meat to be healthy, to get your protein. But plants have a lot of protein. Like, we get more protein than we actually need through eating our raw diet. And we know this by tracking through an app called Chronometer everything that we may eat for a particular day. Like, Lisa has some really great What I Eat in a Day videos. You can actually watch her video and see what we eat on a daily basis. And she goes through the Chronometer. We're getting all of our choline, which people are like, oh, I need to eat eggs for my choline. No, you don't. We can get it all in the plants. We can get all the protein we need, the calcium, the iron, the magnesium, the selenium, all these essential vitamins and minerals. And yeah, the protein. And of course, another thing is we're getting good fiber, like a really good amount of fiber, which really helps for our gut health, creating those short chain fatty acids, which is helping our microbiome. I mean, it just blows you away. But of course, it's so simple. Yeah. It's so simple.
It's almost too simple, right?
It's almost too simple. People, we're trying to figure it out. Like, how am I going to supplement? You know, we do take supplements. We take B12. We take vitamin D. You know, we get K2 supplements. We do eat natto and, you know, a couple other vegetables that have, you know, higher sources of K2, but we do supplement with these supplements. And these are supplements like B12 and vitamin D is a world problem.
Yeah,
you know, there's people who eat
vegan.
It's not just vegans. People who eat high amounts of animal products still have low B12 or low vitamin D, depending on where they are, because B12 comes from the soil. It's a bacteria that's made through the soil, right? So these are sort of things that, like, we all should be, you know, concerned about. And the best thing to do is to get your levels checked. But long-winded answer, you know, to the protein. Protein is in the plants. Like, it blows me away too, because my whole life I've been taught, like, we've all been taught that protein, it comes from meat. That's where you get your protein. There's some in some beans, but it's like, wow, lettuce, cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower.
How much protein is in cauliflower?
Cauliflower is amazing. Like every time I do a what I eat in a day video, and I actually posted one where we made Chris Kendall's creamy curry recipe, which is in the bundle, guys. Link in our bio.
Oh, such a good recipe. And you also did a what I eat in a day the other day with that.
Yes. So if anyone wants that video, send me a DM and I'll send you the link to that video. But I was surprised. I think our protein was like 79 grams. I can't remember. It was like 71 or 79 grams of protein. And the cauliflower was our top source. It was so high. Cauliflower is also really high in choline and calcium. Cauliflower is actually a really good one. And another
cauliflower is powerful stuff.
Sunflower microgreens. The sunflower microgreens are super high in iron. I was so surprised to see that.
And more bioavailable than say getting it from beet greens or spinach or chard. Right. Now these aren't that's kind of a weird one in the space, say especially the carnivore space. They're like a lot of fear being pumped around oxalates, when really all it is it's not as available. The iron and the calcium is not as available because the oxalate binds to that mineral where the body can't necessarily absorb it. It's still there, but of course, what's so cool is we have the ability to get our sources of iron and calcium other ways. We're not just relying on solely spinach.
Yeah.
So, but 71 grams, exactly. 71 isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
For a woman, it's like what, 46 grams?
Yeah, 46 grams for a moderately active woman is the RDA, which the RDA, they actually doubled from the person who needed the most. So we're really already eating more than we need.
Let's tap into that study real quick. Now listen to this, you guys. This is fascinating. Back in when was it? Like the 20s, 30s, 40s?
Yeah, I can't remember when exactly they did that.
It was somewhere back there.
Yeah. So they were studying a large group of people, and they were seeing who needed how many grams of protein. And after the study was done, they picked the person who needed the most out of everybody. So they were the most active. They needed the most protein for who they were. And
these studies were like iron workers, like the guys building like building the Empire State Building. They're like, these guys need the most amount of protein.
Exactly. A lot of physical labor goes into
exertion,
yeah. So they picked the person who needed the most, and whatever grams that person needed, they doubled it. Because they're
doubled it.
What if there's people out there who need more than the person who needed the most?
Just to CYA. To cover their ass.
Exactly.
CYA, cover your ass. They doubled the amount of protein that we actually necessarily need. So that means 46 grams for a female is essentially double the amount, and you're getting 70 grams.
Yeah.
But yet there's still fear being pumped that you need 1 gram per pound of body weight or 1.5 grams. I know some people, friends of mine, that go for 2 grams per pound of body weight when really it's supposed to be kilos of body weight. They're getting entirely so much protein, overworking their kidneys. It's not absorbable. This is another thing that's really fascinating about the proteins and how they bind together, right? When you cook, say, animal flesh, and how those proteins actually bind together, making it less absorbable for your body. So they're, you could see how like there'd be the misnomers that they need more. And it's like they need more because it's less bioavailable, because it's not in its, this form that isn't bound. The body's able to break it. It's just fascinating. All this kind of stuff is so fascinating, but really it's so simple.
Yeah, Watermelon Lime said it best. Yeah, Watermelon Lime says it best in the chat. Just eat your fruits, veg, nuts, seeds, legumes, drink your water, and you'll get everything you need.
And then get good sleep.
Yep, exercise.
Smile and feel grateful to be alive as a human being. Watermelon Lime said exactly best. It's so simple. Mother Nature, or God, the creator, whatever we want to say, created it perfectly for us. The fruits, the berries, the melons from the trees, the bushes and the vines, and we feel divine. Like that's all we need. We don't have to kill. We don't have to rape our forests. We're cutting down Earth's
Yeah.
We live in a terrarium, and these trees are filtering our air and giving us fresh oxygen, but we're cutting them down to grow grains to feed the animals that we eat, that's causing diseases that we need to take more pharmaceuticals to combat the symptoms from the animals. It's just like,
I know, right? I know, and we have our 3 rules. Eat whole, eat enough, eat variety.
hey, I see a comment here. I can't really see him, but yeah, somebody's asking, Grendel Hall asked, isn't called cruciferous vegetables, aren't they hard to digest? And that's a valid concern and a great question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I love these questions because this is like there's a little bit of misinformation out there about it, but it's misinformation because people are starting to eat more cruciferous vegetables with a weak microbiome. So if your microbiome is weak, when you add new foods, new rougher vegetables, lots more fiber, if you're coming from a low fiber diet, a standard North American diet, a diet high in meat, a diet high in oil, super low fiber, or a passive antibiotic use, or you were bottle fed like I was, moving over to more fiber might feel uncomfortable, but it's not the food that's the problem. It's the state of your microbiome that's not ready to digest that food yet. And I say yet because you can build your microbiome, but you need to be consistent. You need to take your time. You need to go slow and be patient and start with smaller amounts. Like you get people trying to eat like 3 cups of broccoli when they haven't had broccoli in a month. Of course, that's your gut's going to be like, whoa, I can't deal with all of this. And you're going to get gas and bloating. Gas is actually a natural, it's part of fermentation in your gut, and your microbiome is actually converting fiber into short chain fatty acids, and in that process creates gas, which is totally normal. It's the excessive amounts of gas that cause pain that's the problem, and that happens when we overconsume these other high fiber foods when we're not ready yet. So start slow. Start with smaller amounts of these specific foods. Like make sure you're eating enough, but start with smaller amounts and be consistent with it every day. Have like a tablespoon of broccoli. You don't need to have a whole cup, but you need to have enough to get the benefits and enjoy more variety in your diet. So that's what I'd say on that topic. I love that topic.
That's such a great topic, and that was a beautiful, analogy and answer. Another thing too that's important if you are eating broccoli is to chop your broccoli, chop it up real good and let it sit for a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you can, and that actually
Dr. Greger actually says 45.
45 minutes. Let your broccoli sit chopped, because what does that do again, babe?
So there's an enzyme in broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, called myrosinase. And myrosinase, once you chop it or even blend it, you release a lot of this myrosinase. And the myrosinase interacts with the glucosinolates in the cruciferous vegetables, and it converts that into sulforaphane, which is the anti-cancer properties of broccoli and cruciferous vegetables. So that's why chewing is so important, because if you chew your food, you're releasing that myrosinase. But when you cook your broccoli, you destroy the myrosinase. So you're not getting the amount of sulforaphane as you would if you ate raw and you chopped it up and again let it sit or what have you.
Fascinating. Isn't that fascinating?
Yes, we have another question here. 58 now have osteoporosis, may not have been eating calcium fortified foods. So because I've been doing a lot of what I eat in a day videos for the bundle, and we've been eating some meals from the bundle, I've been looking at our calcium, and we're getting like well over 1,300 milligrams of calcium every day, but we eat a wide variety of greens. Sunchokes are actually quite high in calcium, I've noticed. Cauliflower is as well. It's really about eating a wide variety of foods so you get stuff from everything and you're really providing your body with enough. So
it's amazing too how the industries have promoted that milk and dairy products are actually good calcium sources, when actually, say the China study, that was so fascinating reading that, because it's like, wow, it actually is causing our body to leach calcium from our own bones to process and, deal with the amount of, was it the calcium? I'd have to read it again. I don't remember if it was the calcium, like it's so much calcium and it's not necessarily recognizable by our body, that our body is actually pulling from its own sources, its own bones, to basically help break down the dairy calcium. Is that how it went?
It's because the calcium or the it's so acidic on the body that the body needs to pull the calcium from the bones.
It's super acidic. So our body's pulling calcium from our own bones to counteract the acidity from the dairy that the commercials say that we need for calcium. It's like brilliant though, in a way, when you think of there's some big money to be made in these medical fields. There's big money. And, of course, it's only been like maybe 100 years since we've really been digging into being able to study these things because the technology wasn't there. This past 20, 30 years has been really exciting. And just this past 10 years has been even more exciting, seeing how it's not us that digest the fiber. We're not eating fiber for ourselves. We're eating it for our little dudes. Our little dudes that are in our gut, the microbiome, the microbiota, right? The gut flora, we're eating it for them. That's their food. We get the bliss factor from the salt, oil, sugar, right? So we're eating food here, but how's that feeding the microbiome? But when we eat whole plant foods and we have delicious dressing recipes to use and fun recipes to use where there's very low oil to no salt, but you're getting the flavor. You can taste the cumin, you can taste the coriander, you can taste the anise, you can taste these sorts of things. It makes it really fun. And the food we are eating is for the microbiome, which we're made of more microbes than we are actual human DNA cells. Science is proven this, which is fascinating. We're more microbial life forms than we are actual human DNA cells. So it makes me wonder, like, who's in control? Is it really like our own mind that's in control, or is it the gut biome that's in control? And then you think about people who have like food addictions. They can't kick French fries and cakes and cheeseburgers. And it's possibly because the microbiome that they have within their gut is so strong, in the sense that they have grown that colony so big and it is craving the food that it normally eats. The fiber thriving guys are over here. There's like barely any. They're not craving cucumber and salad, because like I'm salivating right now thinking about a salad. I'm excited about a salad. I don't salivate thinking about French fries. So it's interesting how it is. Like, we just have to eat more vegetables. So, I mean, grandma knew best, right? Eat your fruits and veggies, she would say.
Veggies. I know, somebody in the chat was saying fiber cellulose is not digestible. That's why it causes gas. That's actually a myth, because our bodies do not digest fiber. It's the microbiome, like Nate said, that digests the fiber. So if it's causing gas and bloating, it's not the fiber's fault. It's the microbiome that's weak. And you need to slowly increase that and build the microbiome so it doesn't cause excess gas and bloating. And
it's essentially, like, it's hard sometimes to like really reflect and point the finger at ourselves. It's essentially our own fault. It's our own fault if we can't digest, say, broccoli or cucumber, because we've ingested foods that aren't feeding that microbiome. And of course, like, it's easier to blame external sources. It's easier to blame the food. It's easier to blame the vegan diet. It's easier to blame outside sources, as opposed to like taking note as to how we've been conducting our life and what we've been feeding ourselves. And of course, just like building muscle in the gym, just like being more flexible with yoga, it's a practice. It takes time, and it's something that we should incorporate if we want to live a long, healthy life. Some people don't want to live a long, healthy life. Some people just came here to party, But if we do want to, then it takes time to build that microbiome. So like Lissa was saying too, you start off with little amounts. This is from, the gastroenterologists' genre and niche.
Yeah, the new studies that are coming out, right? Like Watermelon Lime is saying, one thing I learned from Simnet Nutrition, who has 2 ebooks in the bundle. Again, you guys grab the bundle.
So good.
7.5 hours.
I love Simnet stuff, man.
Yeah, he says to slice Brussels sprouts really thin and put a few in your salad. We got to start doing that.
See? And I miss Brussels sprouts. Well, we have them frozen. We'll put them in our soups. And I'm thinking, like, what is it that I miss about Brussels sprouts? I missed the garlic butter that we would bake them in. I know that garlic butter is the part that's like, ooh, I loved Brussels sprouts. I didn't eat Brussels sprouts without garlic butter and a little salt.
Yep.
So take away the garlic, actually keep the garlic, but take away the butter and the salt, and it might not be as enjoyable because I don't have that hit from the oil and the salt. And that's what we have in our day and age is food is just laden with oil and salt to keep us coming back, to keep us, I mean, in a sense, it's like, it's an addiction. It really, like, as much as I don't like to think that it's an addiction, it's hard to kick.
It's
salty.
just super dense calories. It makes a lot of dopamine and we're drawn to it. But yeah,
Definitely.
we could just like grate some Brussels sprouts and add those to our salads, right? We're always up for evolving, adding new varieties. Someone's asking here, can we blanch the broccoli to clean them from pesticides? I personally would not blanch the broccoli. You could soak it in vinegar and baking soda for like, I think about half an hour. That's a really great way of getting pesticides off stuff too. Yeah. Oh, you guys have some awesome questions. So this has been a great discussion. What is a good microbiome test for the gut as a baseline?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I'm going to put in the chat the company that we use for our microbiome testing. It's called Ombre Lab.
Yeah, right here in the States.
Ooh, they might have Cyber Monday sales. I think they still have 40% off.
So cool. Right now. Both Liz and I wish so bad that we would have been able to test our microbiome back before we went raw, because it'd be so neat to see how much it's evolved over this time. Like Liz has been raw for 8 years. I've been raw for 6 years. And we had pretty good scores. We had a diversity score of 83. And now Liz is 91. I'm a 90. And that's just within the last, like, what, 10 months or something? Incorporating
almost a year.
Almost a year. We've incorporated like maybe a half dozen other foods that we didn't normally eat on a weekly basis. And look at how much it has changed. Yeah, and of course, it's always going to change. It's always going to evolve, you know, when it's not like I'm 100% and I'm good forever. We just start constantly, you know, articulating how we can do better and what we can incorporate more of. But the thing is, I feel like, is just not to overthink stuff so much and just eat an abundance of fresh, raw fruits and vegetables, an appropriate amount of nuts and seeds, getting our supplementation, having fun in life, smiling, sleep. Yeah. Making sleep is like so important. Sleep. So I love the Rosalind Graham talks about the wheel. Yeah. And a wheel has spokes to keep the wheel rolling smoothly. Diet is just one of those spokes. Sleep would be another spoke. Actually, right? Remember we were talking about sleep being the axle, the center, holding all the spokes together? Yeah. Thank you. That is so great. So sleep is the axle. Without sleep, the wheel would fall apart. It doesn't matter how good of a diet you eat if you're not sleeping properly. Oh, it's brilliant. So brilliant. Totally. Better way of living is asking, is it possible to reduce wrinkles with raw food eating? So number one, I want to talk about this really quickly. It's okay to age. Everybody, it's okay to age. We're going to age. I'm going to get wrinkles. Nate has wrinkles. We are human beings. Being on a raw diet doesn't automatically make us superhuman or immortal or never going to age. So number one, it's okay to have wrinkles. Completely okay to have wrinkles. And you know what's funny is babies have wrinkles and we think they're cute, right? Yeah, totally. Like they smile and they got their little wrinkles and it's totally okay. The thing is that a raw diet supports our body through the aging process and it hydrates our skin so we do look more youthful, but it doesn't get rid of all wrinkles. It can soften them for sure, because you're more hydrated and you're giving your body what it needs. If we're eating processed sugars, and I consider like fruit juices to be processed sugars as well. If we're eating high protein or carcinogenic things in our foods like acrylamides and stuff like that, there's a lot of cross-linking that happens in our skin. Essentially cooked foods, you know, cooked foods at high temperature is where you're going to get those acrylamides, the AGEs. Yeah. That's like you're saying that, you know, cross-linking, that's going to, you know, help the aging. High salt. It's going to improve, it's going to accelerate aging. Accelerate. Yeah, not help. Accelerate. It's going to help. High salt, low sleep, not enough hydration. Right. Stress. Right, of course. And we're flooding our bodies with antioxidants. And
when we're eating raw foods, we're eating more antioxidants, and also skin health starts in the gut. So if we can start feeding our guts more fiber-rich foods and more variety, then we can build a stronger gut, which in turn helps with healthier skin.
Definitely.
Someone's asking in the chat, I hear vinegar weakens your bones, which I personally don't agree with. We eat apple cider vinegar. Now, white vinegar is refined, so we're not going to eat white vinegar, but we do apple cider vinegar. It's fermented. I don't believe that it weakens your bones.
It's like maybe a teaspoon.
Like, it's not a big deal, right? Like,
we don't just drink. We don't drink apple cider vinegar. Yeah.
And chewing salads are quite a job with how long it must be chewed before swallowing. So yeah, chewing your food is the number one. It's the first part of digestion. We have to chew our food so that our stomach can actually get to separate all the nutritions and
what's formed in our salivary glands. The chewing creates that saliva, and not only that, but we're strengthening muscles within our jaw from actually chewing the fiber. Because that's a really interesting book. I don't know, was it Weston A. Price?
Breath by James Nestor.
Breath by James Nestor, but I don't know if it was Weston A. Price who was doing like the studies of like how our facial structure has changed because we started to eat more soft foods and we weren't actually chewing a lot. So chewing is so important. We're creating saliva, which helps with the digestive process, like you were saying. Yeah. Yeah,
I know, it's amazing. So chewing your food really well actually in turn helps with your sleep, because then you're not like, your breathing is better, so your sleep actually becomes better when you chew your food. So it's really important. And yeah, it takes a long time, but really, I mean, think about it. Our modern life is not set up for healthy bodies. So we have to take that extra step and take that extra time if we want to improve our health. We have to do the things.
Yeah, and it does. It takes us a good 40 minutes to, anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour to finish one of our massive salads. Depending on the size, a big salad with lots of stuff to chew up, it's a good 45 minutes to an hour to actually eat that. And now say you work a job and you've only got 30 minutes for your lunch. You might want to just be able to, because what I would do when I worked at the hospital, I would make the salad and I wouldn't make it so big that I couldn't finish it in that time frame. It would take me my entire lunch though, chewing that salad, chewing it properly. So my stomach's not like, yo, why didn't you do your job, teeth? You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to digest the stuff because, everything's broken up. But another thing too, it's important to chew. And I know that, I would do some days where I was like slammed and I had something else that I needed to do on lunch. I would make a smoothie. But the thing with the smoothie is it's good because you're getting the fiber and you're getting the nutrients, but you're missing out on the chewing. That's why they say make sure you chew your smoothies, because it releases saliva, which helps with the digestion. It all starts with these are the best juicers and smoothie makers is our teeth. But sometimes we are in a hurry and we need to make a smoothie. But that's where I know it's like really interesting. We don't need to get super worried or freaked out about this kind of stuff, but we need to it's important to spend some time, be present with your meal, give yourself that solid 30 minutes. There's no reason someone couldn't I would make my salad at work. I brought my blender to work. I would make a fresh dressing. Some of the things I would have pre-chopped. I would just chop up a tomato, cucumber, have a nice big salad, and I would be able to eat it in that 20 minutes. But it is important. Chewing is so, so important.
Yeah, we have a great comment here in the chat. That's why it's not good to do long-term liquid diets. How about our jaw muscles? Some people go up to 2 years on a liquid diet, and this is one big reason why Nate and I don't promote.
Picture a cast. If you're casted up, if you break your arm and you have a cast on your arm or your leg, when you get that cast off, your muscles atrophy. Our bodies are smart. Our bodies are like, let's save energy. We're not using that arm. Let's pull some of the proteins and break down some of the muscle over there. So that's what happens with our jaw muscle when we don't eat and chew the food. Our muscles actually atrophy, which then are all connected into our sinus area. Our breathing can be affected. Our sleep can be affected. Mood, of course, is going to...
And our microbiome atrophies as well, because we're not providing them with adequate whole fiber, both insoluble and soluble fiber, because we need that roughage to pull the toxins out of our body, right? So
Yeah, it's super important to eat whole food. We have a person who hopped in just now. Fuller Quest is asking, do you guys dehydrate any food, and if we eat any grains? Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
we do dehydrate stuff. Like we like to dehydrate chunky veggies for a stew or a chili or what have you. We also
Burger
dehydrate
patties, the
burger
taco
patties,
meat,
taco meat. Like we really use our dehydrator for a
our
lot of fun
quiche.
recipes. The
We
quiche,
probably use it like on average, like anywhere from 1 to 2 times a week. We don't eat a lot of dehydrated food, but it is fun to make crackers, or like Lissa says, she'll make soups, or in her what is it, meal plan 2, the
ramen, yeah.
just it's so amazing. You freeze the vegetable, which expands the water in the cell. When you thaw it out, the cell is a little bit more like limpy. So it's almost like a steamed vegetable, like broccoli, if you were to do or cauliflower. Then you marinate it, dehydrate it. It melds the flavors into it even more. Oh, it's
I know,
so good.
it's so good. It's so good. It's still considered raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't fully dehydrate a lot of stuff. So most of the time we're using the dehydrator just to marinate vegetables in and slightly get them a little bit softer for those things. Or we're like solidifying burger patties or whatever. But again, we don't eat like a lot of fully dehydrated stuff because it is more drying on the body. And as for grains, we don't do grains. We do have some forbidden black rice that we sprout, or like bloom, what they say. But yeah, and we only do that when we're like doing backpacking trips, because we'll bloom it and then dehydrate it so that we have it for our cold soaks. But that's, like, it's not an everyday thing.
Right.
It's a couple times a year when we go for a long hike. But yeah. Grains we just eat a plenty of raw fruits and vegetables.
But like when I did my hike, I did eat some overnight oats, and that was really like helpful in a lot of ways. Overnight oats with my dried fruit in it, freeze-dried fruit. It would soak all night. So I was, when I was doing that long distance backpacking trip with my son, I was eating those oats in the morning because, carrying like, raw fruit is really heavy, and I was trying to keep my weight of my backpack low. But yeah, that's essentially it, the forbidden rice. And we rarely eat the forbidden rice, but we do eat a lot of sprouted lentils and mung beans, which aren't grains, but they're really hearty foods.
Yeah, full of great food for the microbiome. Someone says, oh, wow, great. I have a 2023 goal is eating 70% raw. That's awesome. I've read several times to eat a spoon of olive oil every day. Would you recommend that? No. Oil's a processed food.
And the way that I like to picture it is this body that we get to drive, my friends. This body is a multi-gazillion-dollar Maserati for the soul to be able to experience this evolutionary journey, right, of our life as a human. And oil, it's a water-based machine, right? We're mostly water, 90% water in our brain, 70% water of the body. And as we know, water and oil, they don't mix very well. So essentially, when you think of it that way, it's like, oh yeah, oil doesn't necessarily belong in a water-based machine. And it's a great tool though for getting those calories, right? There's like hardly any nutrient, you're getting the calories. And then of course, that's a whole nother topic right there. Like when you cook with olive oil or you cook with coconut oil, how those chains bond together and how that is, recognized by the body. But oil doesn't necessarily belong in the machine unless it's from its whole source, like eating the whole olive, right? Eating the whole avocado. Exactly. Yeah. If you want some oil in your dressing, use an avocado for your dressing. Sometimes Lisa and I will do that on the tailgate. We're like lime juice and avocado and some cracked pepper is perfect dressing. It's like kind of oily, you got a little fat in there. It's like sticking to the lettuce and stuff, but the whole food is the best way to go. Yeah, I would definitely suggest don't eat spoonfuls of olive oil.
No oil.
That's my perspective, right? Like other people have their perspectives, and I know there's all kinds. It's interesting because this day and age, you can find anything you want to say promote, or whatever word I'm trying to find that solidifies that particular thing. Like, oh yeah, I read and I saw studies that olive oil is healthy, and then you can go for it. But the best thing to do is to pick studies from several different sources. I like to tap into the carnivore side of things. I want to see what they're thinking. What are they thinking? How do they think? Why do they think this way? I want to understand it because I do have a pair of plant-based lenses on, and I will try to be able to make sense of where maybe they are thinking. And yeah, it's just, we don't need oil.
Yeah, we don't need oil. And on that note, we have to go. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I'm going to be going live in 15 minutes with our friend Nicole and Nate. He's going to join us for that as well. So we just need to take a little bathroom break. But in between these lives,
hour 45.
Yeah, please go check out the plant-based bundle. There is now only
7 hours and
left.
15 minutes.
7 hours, yeah, to go grab the bundle. The link is in either of our bios. So go grab that while we take our break. And then we're going to be back with Nicole Richey. So the three of us are going live with her. And we can't wait to see you then. So please join us. We love you guys so much. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love yourself too. You're worthy.
You are worthy. All right. See you guys in 15 minutes.
See you, babe.